People do not like Asia Wilson's mentality because everyone, welcome to the Rah Rah Report. My name is Raquel. I am here. You guys are probably like, what's going on? Why are we seeing the screen? I'm going to be doing this one, just recording from my screen because I couldn't get on camera solely because I've been sick. I had COVID, so we're recovering. With that being said, I wanted to do this video, plus a lot of things I'm referencing is going to need to be referenced on screen anyway, so let's just get to it. Asia Wilson, 3-time MVP, 2-time champion, and several other accolades. Probably is having one of her worst weeks after just now winning again her 3rd MVP and unanimously doing so. You might say, well, why would Asia Wilson be having a bad week? Several things. And one of the things that she's having a bad week is because she actually had a video that was found and released recently where she was, you just gotta watch it.
They remind me a lot of you. Like, you shit is not really about you. And she knows how her privilege has gotten us to that point. And also, like, she's good at that. Like, she understands how privilege pushes her over the top, in a sense. It reminds me a lot of you. And I mean, that's a compliment.
So that video went viral, and a lot of people were calling Asia Wilson names or just pointing out how bad of a look it was. And the reason why this was a bad look was because Asia Wilson, what she was trying to convey and what she actually articulated was two different things. And so the way it was perceived on Twitter was Asia Wilson was basically saying that Paige Bueckers, as well as, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced her name, as well as Caitlin, and or Kelsey as well, Plum, were more or less where they were at based upon their white privilege, as opposed to acknowledging their actual skill and what they accomplished. And the reason why it's very weird was because in sports, you got to prove yourself. Eventually, I don't care what got you through the door, you have to prove yourself. It was also kind of crazy that she spoke of Paige Bueckers and Kelsey Plum. Paige Bueckers is a phenom. What she's already accomplished is crazy. So it is kind of weird that she sat there and said somebody who, with these type of, as you guys can see her honors, these type of accolades and how great she is as a player is, her white privilege. I know what she was trying to say, but it doesn't matter because the way it came off. And it also is a problem because I do believe that this is a problem with the WNBA players. Being that it is a black dominated league, I believe a lot of them have this thought process that Asia Wilson has, that, a white player is only able to get all these things because they're pushed and marketed more and things of that nature. And the black women in the WNBA are fighting different battles. And I say this because they can constantly, continually, keep making it about white, black, this, and that. And I do believe that black athletes deserve more fair treatment. They deserve better marketability, things of that nature. But when it comes down to actual skill, I don't care who you are, looking even at Kelsey Plum and what she's accomplished in college, you guys got to remember she was herself a player who had held the record prior to Caitlin Clark breaking it. She's not some slump. Like, look at her career highlights and awards and things of that nature. She's not some slump. So I think people were like, wait, are you trying to say Kelsey Plum and Paige Bueckers hasn't earned their right to be top athletes in women's basketball, which is completely false. So it just was insane for her to actually say that they got to where they got to based upon their privilege. At least that's what the video conveyed. The problem is with Asia is trying to be a voice, and she unfortunately needs to learn how to articulate herself. And what she should have said to me and what would have made it look better is that in society there is a white privilege. That is very much a known thing. But instead of Kelsey Plum, Paige Bookers using their white privilege to their advantage, they are in fact allies to black women, where they understand that there are times that black women are not afforded the same things that they are, maybe based upon their privilege of being white. Now, the thing about that is that Asia said it in such a bad way that I definitely understand why the internet took it the way it was. And I'm not posting any bail for Asia, because at the same token in time, after hearing her say that statement and knowing her friend Dolores on Twitter, I feel like those are conversations that they are in fact having behind the scenes. So the problem with this is that Asia, and I think part of the WNBA, because it is a black dominated league and it struggled to get off its feet and different things of that nature, they're basically equating societal things that has happened or happens with the league in itself. And some of it does play a part. Do I think that the WNBA could do a better job with marketing? Yes. Do I think that the WNBA could do a better job with paying these players more? Yes. Do I think that they deserve better facilities? Yes. Do I think that they deserve better brand deals? 100% yes. All of that is to be said true. You know what's funny? That the WNBA keeps on harping on the fact that like black women are not treated a certain way. And the thing is, the majority of people who are a part of the WNBA are in fact black women. So it's disingenuous for you to keep pointing out like white players being marketed a certain way and it's just because they're white, when the majority of people covering the league, the majority of people a part of the league are in fact black. Asia Wilson, you have to learn how to speak proper and better. I just don't think you understand how bad of a look that is, especially then when everybody finds out that they're taking privileges as, you know, what you're privileged to have in life and maybe the things that you're able to get and money and status and things like that. Your privilege was saying that there is a certain innate privilege of white privilege, but because you don't know how to actually speak and actually articulate yourself, you completely just dropped the ball and you sounded, no offense, but ignorant. So the thing about that is Asia is not likable by most people, but it's because of the things she says and does. For example, when she said privilege, and then everyone finds out like, Asia Wilson, you are speaking on privilege as if you're not a privileged person. You are a person who, one, you're a 2-time championship. You are a 3-time MVP this year unanimously. You've won WNBA, Finals MVP, Defensive Player of the Year. You've had all kind of accolades, Rookie of the Year, all these different things as you continue to go. Not only just that, you were a college player who had a lot of awards, NCAA double championship. Just the accolades go on. You are a very, 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 very achieved woman, yet you still continue to feel like you need more validation. You yourself have to actually recognize your own privileges. Your father was a professional basketball player. He then started he's a CEO of a company. You yourself grew up very privileged in a 2-parent household. You also grew up going to private schools. And you're one of the few players who has a statue out already in college. You are a Nike athlete who has a shoe deal on the way. You are, in fact, a phenomenal basketball player that everyone recognized as the best and most dominant player in the league. And you steady complain about everything under the sun that you feel like you haven't been gotten. Like you don't get recognition. I don't want to like talk down any black woman's experience or any woman's experience, especially a black woman, because you still do not know what it is like to be a black woman in America. Because yes, we feel unprotected. There's different things that we go through that no other woman or another other group of women go through. However, Asia Wilson, being who she is, has experienced a better life than most black women have. And it's weird that she's such in her feelings, like people owe her more than they do, because she sits there and constantly complains about how she feels like she hasn't been validated enough. And that's your problem. It is entitlement. No one is entitled to like you, Asia. I'm an amazing player. I think you're a great player, but I don't have to if I chose not to. And the fact that you're failing to understand there is a difference between a privilege of someone based upon their skin tone and just getting in somewhere and their doors opening versus somebody getting there based upon their skills, their ability, and their hard work. The saddest part is that I think that's the consensus with a lot of WNBA players. I think a lot of these black players don't feel like white players are having to work as hard, and it's not necessarily true. I think that you guys got to do some self-reflecting, because as a league, the people that's covering it has been very unprofessional. The leadership has been very unprofessional. The coaching is very unprofessional. And you guys as players have demonstrated this entire season your complete unprofessionalism and just the embarrassing way that you guys have acted, as opposed to being what you call yourselves an activist league and pointing out things that you want to change. You guys decided to just focus in on one player, Caitlin Clark, and Caitlin Clark is the reason for all of our problems. And it's not true. We all know it's not true. Asia Wilson, yeah, you're getting canceled in the internet because you just don't know how to speak. And that goes into her Asia Wilson Unfiltered. The WNBA superstar opens up about her record-breaking season. Now, granted, she also had a record-breaking season. First woman in the WNBA history to score 1,000 points or more in a season. Asia Wilson is a baller. Asia Wilson is a dominant player. Asia Wilson is great. She is the best player in the WNBA. And arguably, great on both ends, because she's defensive minded and she's in the score. She can score how she scored. The problem with Asia Wilson is this. Yeah, a lot of good things are happening. Yeah, we're grateful in this space in the game that's growing, but damn, at what cost? What are we doing here? It's her mentality. A lot of people do not like Asia Wilson's mentality because in the interview with ESPN that she did, she was asked, in your locker room speech that went viral, you said that it has been difficult for you to be yourself this season. What did you mean by that? For us as black women, we grew up a lot of the times with our parents telling us you got to work 10 times as hard just to get your foot in the door, let alone stand out. I felt that more than ever this year. So, again, this was playing off of people feeling like Caitlin Clark got a lot of attention and they felt like they didn't get the attention they wanted. Or I felt like for years, Asia being who she is and as accomplished as she is, and as I showed you guys, she's very accomplished. She's done so very much. I think there's a slight level of jealousy that hey, why is this girl getting so much attention? And everyone considers it just because she's white. And I don't think it's just because she's white, because prior to this all changing up, I remember men just being like, yo, Caitlin Clark is nice. She's doing stuff that we as men love in basketball. Her skills. She shoots from the logo. She's just a great baller. Her ball handles. She's amazing, right? And I think for a lot of these women who have been a part of the league are wait, we've been here with the WNBA pushing these things, and yet we've never garnered the attention that someone like Caitlin has. And then there's a part of you guys who just don't understand whether you like it or not. Yes, white people are tuning in when they see somebody that looks like them balling. It's the same thing I did when Serena Williams and Venus Williams was playing. I was like, oh my God, 2 black girls playing tennis. I thought that was a white person sport. I'm just being honest. Golf, I thought that was a white person sport. Then Tiger Woods comes in and dominates it. I learned golf, I learned tennis because I seen people like me, black, who were doing it. So if you're jealous or mad because white people are, watching and seeing somebody like a phenom as in Caitlin Clark, why is that so bad? Why is that so anger you? Like, we've done this before. Like, we love Simone Biles. She's one of the greatest Olympians of our time. But I also love Michael Phelps. He was white. I don't care because I appreciate them for their athleticism. So anyways, in the continued thing with Asia, she goes on and she does this whole thing where she goes, they asked her, the WNBA has taken off the past few years, but it's weird. It feels like a lot of black women in the league have been criticized. Has that been a downer? I keep reiterating this. WNBA players, you were not being viewed previously. You guys' league nobody was really caring. I cared. I supported you, but you guys did not have the millions of eyes that were on the league that it was this year. I understand there's an adjustment that needs to happen that you guys are kind of not understanding, but when you get more eyes on you, yes, you're going to have more people who unfortunately does not like you, who will be hateful, who will think that it's okay to be racist and it's not, who will say racial slurs to you, who will be trolling you, who will be harassing you, and none of this is okay. It is unfortunate that you guys got to deal with this, but it is something that you guys need to be understanding that it will continue as the game continues to grow and your league continues to grow. You will not have everybody like your game. Everybody will not just keep it sports. They will take personal attacks. I get personally attacked. I get called anti-black woman for being a Caitlin Clark fan. We all get bashed on Twitter or social media at points in times, especially from miserable people. So anyways, she goes on, and after she's asked this question, because they're all like, it's been so crazy this year. Yes, you guys went from not having eyes on you to millions of eyes on you. I understand that it was a big, huge leap that you guys were not prepared for and ready for or never experienced. So I've given you the grace. But for her to say this, which was weird, she goes and says, I dreaded being in Indiana. Not because it was like the city or nothing. It was just like, I just don't want shit to pop off. This weird thing that everybody tries to act like Indiana was just the like scariest place to go to play basketball. Again, I don't care what you guys say. Again, I know fans are bad in Indiana. I know there's racist fans, but there's racist fans everywhere. There's people who are bad everywhere. You guys were pushing this narrative for a reason. And again, it comes back to Caitlin Clark. And again, it comes back to WNBA players being jealous at the end of the day, to me. Or even if you're not jealous, let's just say that you guys have some sense of animosity. It's very weird. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure if you guys have any comments, leave them below. Subscribe, like, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Thanks again. Peace.